We think that maybe all the galaxies that we can see in the sky have black holes at the center. So maybe galaxies are like the seeds and black holes are the beginning of the center of every galaxy that we can see. Once upon a time, we thought black holes were very, very rare and very strange things. Maybe they are, they're relatively common, that every galaxy seems to have a gigantic black hole at the center, even our own galaxy. And if you were to travel towards a black hole, if you were to fall feet first, the difference in gravity between your feet and your head, which is only 1.5 meters maybe, would be enough that you would be stretched. So we call it spaghettification. So like a piece of spaghetti, you would be stretched and stretched and stretched and stretched, yeah? So a typical person would be about 3.5 kilometers long by the time they reach the black hole. Comets are mainly ice. And recently we've been studying a comet, so a gigantic piece of ice, tens of kilometers across, which we hoped was going to be very bright. It was going to get reasonably close to the Earth and be very bright and visible in the sky. But it's broken, it's fallen to pieces. So as we've been observing it over the last month or so, we've watched pieces falling off. So what was once one very large piece of ice has now become lots and lots of very small pieces of ice. And we can see literally little lumps falling off as this object moves through the solar system. And a shooting star is a meteor. It's a tiny little piece of rock, maybe the size of a grain of sand or a tiny little piece of sugar or something very, very small. When we observe these objects, we're seeing the death of what was once a big piece of rock, and it's broken down into smaller and smaller pieces, and eventually the little bits of dust fall to the surface. And they get washed down in the rain, so the rain will wash them through the atmosphere and down to the surface. And so if you go to the roof of a building, a flat roof, and you find all the kind of dust and the rubbish on the roof of the building, and you scrape all that rubbish up, and then you take it away and you sift it, and you take the smaller and smaller and smaller pieces, and then you take a magnet, because most of these pieces of space rock have a lot of iron, a lot of metal in them. You take a magnet over all this rubbish, all these dust you've picked up from the roof, and you take out all the little metal pieces. And then you study them under a microscope. You can find little tiny pieces of space that have landed on your roof.